Welcome back, Wi-Fi wizards. Let's see what's going on the internet today then, eh? Before we move on, let's start spreading the love, eh? Pass it around, spread the word. Let's get at least 11 views on these videos, eh? Let's get it cracking.
This is about the giants of Afghanistan, part 3. There was an interview with a U.S. soldier done, Mr. K. Check it out.
So, are there giants in Afghanistan? In August 2016, a YouTuber posted a lengthy interview with a military contractor identified simply as Mr. K. Mr. K said in the interview that he was present during the savage slaughter of a killer he dubbed the Kandahar Giant. He said that the giant was killed during the height of Operation Enduring Freedom in 2002, when the military was engaged in heavy clashes with the Taliban in Kandahar province, the Taliban's de facto capital during the US invasion of Afghanistan. But this was no ordinary fighter. In 2002, a troop of soldiers went missing while on patrol in Kandahar, Afghanistan's southernmost province. When they were unable to make radio contact for an extended period of time, the military dispatched a special operations unit to investigate, albeit the branch of the armed forces they belonged to was never confirmed.
It's crazy.
The unit then came to a cave high in the mountains with scattered army equipment, but no evidence of the missing troops.
No way.
That's when they came across the Kandahar Giant. Though the narrative grows bigger with each recounting, some accounts claim the humanoid grew to be 15 feet tall, this red-headed giant with 6 digits, leather moccasins, and the odor of dead bodies suddenly emerged from the cave and impaled one of the soldiers with a spear. The soldiers then opened fire, eventually killing the behemoth with 30 seconds of sustained shooting.
Wow.
According to one report, the squad was armed with full auto M4 carbines, recon carbines, semi-automatic, and M107 Barrett anti-material rifles firing .50 BMG. This much firepower focused on one target for 1 second, let alone 30 seconds, would be extremely destructive. After killing the giant, the troops loaded it onto a Chinook helicopter, which transported it to a cargo plane, and it was never seen again. The soldiers were ordered to sign non-disclosure agreements in order for the government to keep everyone silent.
I bet.
However, the troops eventually broke their silence because, as one of the guys subsequently stated, the people have a right to know the truth.
What would you do in that situation if you saw something like that? Would you tell your friends and family? Comment below. If you want to see the next, comment. Let's do it.
My family hails from Kandahar, Afghanistan, and my father was born in, I believe, 1936, 1937, and he was born to my grandmother, who was a practicing witch, and she was pretty embedded into, dark arts and black magic, as I understand it. Anyhow, when my father was coming of age, as he was growing up, he witnessed my grandmother doing some weird things, ritualistically speaking, and that led him to, eventually over the course of his life realize that my family is actually, for some generations, has been involved with, I don't know if you would consider it catering to or consorting with these beings or entities that we all know as these giants. And so that's pretty much what I've come to know from, my father when he was alive. When he told me that in 2005, and then 5 to 7 years later, I forget what it was. It was easily over 10 years ago now, but when I was on YouTube, just, going down these weird conspiracy type rabbit holes, and disclaimer to everyone, I've always been that guy. People have always accused me of being that guy, so if I sound nuts, it's nothing new. I've heard it all. But it really kind of fascinated me when I heard this on YouTube. So then I went and asked my father about it, and he said, well, yeah, it just so happens that when I was young, my mother, I used to go with her, and she used to tie one of our goats or sheep or whatever they had available to a post right outside of this one specific cave or cabin entrance, by their village. And he didn't really know what it was, but later, he was like, well, I never told you this because you never asked. But yeah, I that footprint that I saw, and she told me to stay out of the cave and all that. Yeah, there was something living in there. She's like, I don't know what. She knew what, but she said it was something that has been around a very, very long time. And if we don't want it to come and get us, we just have to give it these offerings. And
what I've done there is I've took a few clips from the interview, which is a good watch if anyone wants to watch it. It's Terry Carter, obviously the Giants of Kandahar, something like that. Type in on YouTube. I've took a few little clips if you want to watch it in its entirety, obviously go to YouTube and type it in. But interesting, and that's what I'm talking about with his older generation passing it down and knowing the stories. I've heard this story before about offerings to keep the villagers safe. If you give them that, then they'll leave you alone and all that stuff. It's true, definitely true.
1982. Russian Navy divers are conducting a research mission. 7 Russian divers are at a depth of 50 meters. When suddenly, the frogmen realize they are being watched.
These strange humanoid figures were much bigger than human beings. These were large beings, human shaped but like 9 feet tall, wearing what seemed like very tight-fitting silvery suits. Not your normal scuba gear, basically. Swimming in the water, what they've come to call the swimmers of Lake Baikal.
What were these creatures? Why did they not seem to use what we would be using to sustain life? There were no oxygen tanks. So there are lots of interesting facets to this. You have creatures that are underwater and surviving with technology that we don't comprehend.
The Russian divers then make a fateful decision. They try to capture one.
The divers attempted to capture one of these creatures, but at this point, so the documents say, the entities reacted.
A powerful, unknown force suddenly propels the entire group of divers up from the deep water to the surface.
They did a rapid rise to the surface of the water. Well, when you do that too fast, you suffer from decompression, you get the bends, and it's deadly. There were 7 of these divers, and 3 of them died. And 4 were very severely injured as a result of this.
This one's bittersweet. For years when I heard this, anyone who'd listen, I'd tell them about it. I was fascinated by it. Although I do believe there is things in these cold lakes, Antarctica, these Siberia, all these places, obviously now we know they're in the deep ocean. And we're never going to find out, probably. I've heard the story that it came from a bit of a Billy bullshitter. The guy who actually said it. This story about these Siberian divers. I think the Navy, and rightfully so, they're obviously going to deny it. I think they've said there's no truth to it. They would to that, but on this occasion, I actually have to side with them and believe them, even though I didn't want it to be. I think it's just a fun story, amazing story. But yeah, I think it's not true.
What do you mean it's an illusion?
We're living in a fractal holographic matrix. They estimate that one human body can store 13.5 billion years of data. Everything that exists, everything that's happened since the beginning of time is stored inside of your individual body and minds as well. We're a walking universal library. We are the way for the universe to figure out and explore the third dimension and understand what it's like to be and live in the third dimension as every individual living thing. And we're all connected through this quantum entanglement. Every single thing that exists is all connected, still connected. Space is an illusion, distance is an illusion, separation is all an illusion.
What do you mean it's an illusion?
We appear to be sitting in 2 separate chairs with a space in between us, but we're all atoms on an energetic grid that's connected and has always been connected. So the space in between us appears to be a distance, but if you go on the quantum level, you discover that we're both local. This entire universe is made up of a complete holography. We're living in a fractal holographic matrix, a matrix of light, and it doesn't take away from there being a creator, because what I'm telling you about is the method used to make this creation.
He's got the patience of a saint, that man. He's read the Sumerian tablets, he's been everywhere around the world, he does do some research, he does his due diligence. He can be called a researcher. I couldn't even begin to understand what I'm not that clever to even begin to understand what he's saying, but I get what he's saying, you know what I mean? I think he might have a point, because no one knows. It literally could be in the gut, in someone's bacteria in the gut, living in a big organism. It could be in the matrix, it's in the middle of nowhere. No one knows. It's just, no one knows. his guess is as good as ours, but he's got an educated guess, so I think he kind of knows what he's on about. And some people say, take him a picture, so he does like a lot of good work, and he'll say a lot of true things, and then he'll mixing it with like a little bit of far-fetched, like what he wants to hear kind of thing. But take it as you want him.
We have possession of bodies.
Yes, yes.
We have is it multiple types of creatures, or?
Sir, I couldn't answer that. I can tell you anecdotally that it was discussed quite a bit when I was at the Pentagon.
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes.
To all the people that thought we were crazy, moment of silence. Did you just register what my guy said? Not only have they found something at the bottom of the ocean, some form of non-human technology, they are now saying that they are in contact with whatever that entity is. That is crazy. We all know that they've known this for a long time, which sparks the question, why are they telling us now?
So to say the least, to state my opinion on the subject matter.
Oh no, Robert!
Oh my gosh. We need to get away from this thing. It's too hot in here.
The world will begin again.
Uh-huh. The plane hit the World Trade Center, then it got stuck in the building. When I was falling, I was still alive, and then all the rubber hit me. I didn't feel anything because I died.
Cade started asking me to change his name, that he didn't like Cade. He was just very insistent that Cade was not his name.
The river made us pass away.
The river did?
Yes.
The river made me and you pass away?
Yes.
A long time ago?
Yes. And now we're back.
Okay. And you got that from Scenic Relaxation and AK.
Yes, I did. That we just passed away.
In the river?
Yes, passed away in the river.
By yourself?
With you. I want to pass away again.
You are?
I want to again.
You want to again?
Yeah, because I don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
No.
Why? Why don't you want to be here?
I will come back soon.
Be a pirate again.
You do?
Yeah.
When were you a pirate?
I was a long time ago when you weren't alive, and then I shrunk into a little kid. And I never could get to be a pirate again.
These stories are fascinating, and there's no way we can deny the kids. They're not going to lie over that, are they? They don't even know what to lie about at that age. I think it might have something to do with is because they've only just come into the world and they're so young, they still have the memories of the past life, which proves that there's reincarnation once and for all. The amount of detail some of these kids go into, like where they were killed and what their apartment looked like, and places they've never been, towns they've never been, and they know that what it looks like, or what the door looks like, or what the mum were called, or the people that lived in the certain houses. Unbelievable, irrefutable evidence you cannot deny.
Now this is something you're going to want to watch. A newly emerged Bigfoot sighting leaves experts admitting it could be real. Now in the clip filmed in Georgia, US, a Bigfoot-like creature can be seen squatting in the undergrowth in a dense forest. Now as for the experts admitting it could be real part, the expert is a professional documentary maker named Seth Breedslove, cool name, and he said the subject seems to be looking down at the ground as it turns, indicating it might be a person in a suit who's having some difficulty judging the forest floor beneath them. The thing does appear to be large though, so maybe it is real. So the question is this real or fake?
So I think we know by now I'm a Bigfoot lover, a Bigfoot believer. What I'd noticed though, he said Seth Breedlove. And if no one knows who Seth Breedlove is, he's the guy from Small Town Monsters who's a filmmaker. So he's no Billy bullshitter. He's not like one to do a hoax. He is all in his Bigfoot research. And check out Small Town Monsters on YouTube also. Unbelievable watches, all of them. There's 8-hour long ones if you want. Anyway, I hope you all like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Ciao ciao.